we talk all things reality TV or whatever. What is
bro, I know they so sick of what's coming in laughing, y'all.
What you doing? They don't be knowing what's going on, child.
I'm doing good, y'all. I know some of y'all are upset. This video is Queen WH. Yeah.
Late child.
No, because someone added us on Twitter. They was like, not to be rude, but where's the challenge video? And it's like, child, we so sorry. We are
Happy
so
holidays,
sorry.
girl.
Happy holidays. We were eating, girl. The girls were getting full.
Mm-hmm. I'm full now.
And the girls was not trying to do that video, but we're here. We're
wasn't.
here now.
And honestly, did we miss much?
Did we miss much? No.
The eliminated pair, I just wasn't gagged by the result.
And I'll say
the show was good.
We've covered 3 challenges in 1 year. Mm-hmm. USA, All-Star, and now this. This is the best installment. I think this is the best drama. The thing is, with all of them, I don't be that gagged to watch. No shade. Mm-hmm. But at least with this one, when I start watching, I'm like, okay, this is actually kind of interesting. Like, I'm actually pretty kind of tuned in because I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say.
I also have a lot to say. If you were on this season, maybe don't watch. You will get dragged.
I just feel like a lot of stupidity going on.
A lot.
Amber's getting the Taylor treatment. So I feel, I don't know.
We really have to call it the Amber treatment. It happened to her first. Yeah. It's weird. Let's hop into it or whatever. So we started off this episode, and of course, Jordan and I almost called this girl something. That lady. By the unfair advantage that they had, the last challenge. And Jordan says that this hopefully will give them some confidence as a team. And by them, he meant Aneesa.
Because Jordan really doesn't need the help. No shade.
He really needs to lower the confidence. Like, I'm down. But hey, we move. After that, Jay had a diary room. He was like, "Girl, we got the girls gagged."
We pissed a lot of people off,
and we're just gonna have to deal with it.
But honestly, who cares?
Nobody.
The thing is, Jay doesn't even get nominated this episode. So it's like, girl. Because at the end of the day, we're down to the point. After this round, if I'm not mistaken, there's 9 teams. You have to nominate 4 of those 8 if you're the winner. So it's like, that's half the goddamn cast as it is. So a lot of this fake nice and fake besties and these veteran allegiances, they're going to have to get broken up.
Period. After this, we get a conversation with Devin and Tori. So
a super secret meeting.
This is an important conversation. So essentially, Devin mentions to Tori about re-upping on their deal with Jay and Michelle. And Tori,
because he knows who Mother is.
And Tori, being the not so good player she is, doesn't like this idea because she is mad that Jordan and Aneesa just got sent in by Jay and Michelle. And she's like, I don't really want to do that. Like, I just don't need to do that. And Devin was like, you mean we should do it?
And I think I will say, I think she makes a slightly good point because she's like, we don't want to be seen as a snake in this game. People who are seen as snakes kind of get a bad rep in the game. And it's like, honestly, I feel like for the challenge, because of everyone's mindset, like, it's like, I feel like, for lack of better words, you have to call it a social game. Really, it's just past connections over time, which I guess is social. But it's like, it's not something that if you go in being nice to everyone, talking to everyone, and you're a rookie, you're still going home. Like, they can love you all day long, but you're still going to get sent home because you're not a veteran. You don't have that title. You don't have that respect, quotations. So it's just like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like because this is the environment that they're in, like, I see her point because Devin, he kind of did start getting those little, he's shady little sayings throughout this episode because of the shit he was doing. So I don't know. I feel like I was just saying earlier, it's a weird situation because it's like you have to nominate so many people. But Tori is like, it's completely fully emotional. Like, it has nothing to do with strategic at all.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I feel like sure Tori is making that point, but she's only making that point to defend her emotional reasoning, to be honest. And also Devin has a point too, because essentially Devin was like, well, Michelle and Jay just won 2 in a row. So you're saying this because the people who will call us snakes are the people who are losing. Who gives a fuck if Nany and Bananas calls us snake? We need to make a deal with Michelle and Jay. They won twice.
Yeah.
Nany and Bananas have won 0 times. Like, why would we appease them? So I'll see where Devin's coming from. He's like, girl, they're not winning. Who gives a fuck? We need to make a deal with the people he made a deal with, Nelson and Jay. Period. The fuck. So we move.
He goes to work. That's the thing. Tori really is lucky to have Devin because I mean, if it was up to her, she
did all this work.
Yeah, and all her old connections. All she really knows is Denise and Jordan and Banani because they're veterans. She really has no other connections in this game.
None. So after this, Amber ends up having a diary room, and she's like, I just know Devin is being sneaky because Amber is privy to the information of Michelle making that deal with Devin. Mm-hmm. So Amber knows that Devin is walking around, and
she has him clocked, rightfully so.
She has him clocked. And this is the thing this is another, I guess, mistake in Tori's logic is that Devin and Tori are already being seen as sneaky because they haven't been thrown in. They're one of the few teams who have never been thrown in. So just from that alone, people are like, why y'all not been thrown in? So it's kind of too late, babe.
And it's like, do you allow yourself to get thrown in just to prove them wrong? No.
Yeah, literally no. So after this, we get a discussion between Nelson and Amber. And Amber is like, every vet has said my name or is attached to someone who will say my name, except for Nelson and Darrell. So I fuck with Nelson and Darrell. She's telling Nelson, like, I fuck with you. You somebody who I'm finna ride with or I'm finna die with, period. And we know that Amber and Nelson have had a connection kind of this whole season. They mentioned it here and there, sprinkled it around with whoop. So it's there, of course. So Nelson has a diary room, and he mentions he feels like he's making all the right moves. Mm-hmm. He feels like he's positioning himself well. He's doing exactly what he needs to do to get to this end of the game. And at this point, I was like, he's doing good. People like him on both sides of the house.
He had a good daily win back a few rounds. I feel like it went smoothly. Like he's really set up well. Like everyone likes him, but I think at the same time, it's like, how well is he actually set up? Because at the end of the day, you know, you're good because there's these two rivaling sides. But once the numbers start going lower and lower, you know, those veterans do not fuck with you like that for a 4-0. And I mean, there's not that many rookies left. So I just don't, it's like,
and it's like, does he know this or does he not know this? By the end of this episode,
I think I think at the end of the day, he was just like, I'm good with everybody. And that was it. Like, he didn't think past that. He's like, I'm good with everybody.
Okay. You should probably think more. So, after this is when I knew Amber and Chauncey were going in. Because the challenge editing is just in your face. So
very see-through.
Chauncey, for the first time in the entire season,
literally
has a scene.
Mind you, we haven't gotten anything from Amber and Chauncey for six episodes at all. Like, not shit, really, at all. And they were all up and through this episode from the beginning. So I knew damn well something was happening with them.
Mm-hmm. So Chauncey has a scene with Jordan, and he is essentially kind of just letting Jordan know that, you know, even if the other newbies are after you, that doesn't necessarily mean me and Amber are after you.
Exactly.
So we see each other.
We see Jordan's each other.
Jordan's like, we see each other. We're good. And Jordan has a diary room, and he's like, I'm politicking, you know, like I'm doing what I have to do, and whatever. Move. So after this, we go to the bar. The bar in the daytime? The day bar?
Child, they go twice this episode. Child.
Oh, the first time they go to the bar, we see Johnny and Darrell have a talk. And essentially, Johnny is trying to basically convince Darrell to not link up with the newbies and to link up with them. And in this, Johnny's saying it in a very kind of, bitch, do you think I'm dumb kind of way? He's like, well, Darrell, I know they might be trying to create something over there. And, you know, it would just be obvious that if they created something and you joined it, you'd probably be at the bottom. I don't know.
I don't know. And I don't know why Bananas thought he can go to Darrell and talk to him in this way. Darrell has been playing the challenge longer than him. And Bananas has been playing since 1975. So just imagine how long Darrell's been playing. 1965. Like, it's like, that's what Bananas does. Like, he just walks around and he just kind of moves his weight around. He talks to people the way he thinks he can talk to people. And it's like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. And Darrell sees right through it. He goes to his ride or die, Miss Veronica. And they like, it's giving convenience. It's giving convenience. Like, oh, now you want to talk about solidifying something. Veronica even mentions, like, he could have said that day one. I feel bad for Darrell and Veronica because I just didn't know they'd be so kind of outcasted from the veterans the way they were. And I feel like the challenge is like, for a while, it's really like, you can't do much, especially if you're in a middle position. I feel like you get in a position where it's like, there's so many people, it can go so many ways. You don't want to piss off all of these people. Like, I can definitely understand, but it's just like, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So basically Darrell and Veronica talking. Darrell's like, fuck all that. That man just saying whatever. I'm gonna do what the fuck I'm gonna do. He can do what he wants to do over there. After this, we get a very quick Casey and Fessy conversation. Real quick. And essentially Casey's like, you got me? And Fessy's like, I got you. Next, boom.
But that was like, I was like, it is so cute how they still cool after BB20. Because if anyone watched them in Big Brother 20, Casey and Fessy did not like each other. They were in rivaling alliances, and they were like you know how like everyone kind of have their matchup. I feel like Casey and Fessy were even matchup for each side. They wasn't doing shit,
but winning
nothing going on. But they're gonna win the competition. They're gonna win the veto.
So that means if the other alliance, that means if the other alliance won, Fessy would have won the game.
It's not impossible. It's honestly not impossible. Because think about the other side. Bailey would have been out. I feel like maybe Haley would have won, but I mean, it just depends. Like a lot of people probably would have respected
them comp wins.
Them comp wins. But yeah, they did not like each other. Literally, the week he went home, he was so upset because Casey beat him in Power of Veto. Which means basically seal his fate. And it was like a football. It was like they were literally catching footballs, and she beat him, and he was mad. But it's so cute how the challenge has bonded them, making new friendship, new bonds. But Fessy, he basically have a doubt on him. He's like, the way he plays, he doesn't promise too much. He just let his performance speak for himself.
He doesn't play the game.
You do nothing.
You don't do
nothing. You come
because that's the thing. It's called a challenge, but that's just the title, babe. There's so much more to it.
Honestly, they should call it Ride or Dies because that's all these niggas do every fucking season. They just stick with their besties that they've known for 10
or get voted out
and 30 years, and just sit there and
or get voted out
and let the performance speak for them. So, like, you're not doing shit. A lot of people are coming. A lot of these people. This is vacation. This is vacation for a lot of them.
Which is why I can't get behind it when people like Fessy and Casey have stands and fans. I giggle because be for real. What are you standing?
I just like, what are you giving?
What are you a fan of?
Like, what are you giving?
What are you a fan of? And then some people are like, oh, they're just so good at the challenges, and it's called the challenge. And it's like, it's called the challenge, but that's not what it is. This is a reality show, baby.
I feel like at least Bananas is polarizing. Casey and Fessy are just boring. Like, they're just boring.
It's boring.
Like, at least, both of them actually, they're both attractive. They ate that up. But pretty face.
At least do something with the track.
Pretty face.
Like, at least Fessy is digging around. That's why I said this a few episodes ago. At least Fessy is giving me something to watch. Casey's just there.
Honestly, can they pimp out Casey and Nany more? I would love to see more Casey and Nany.
At least pimp it out some more.
Like, give us the segments. Like, give us. I would love to know more about them.
And what is Kenny doing?
Because I will say that's the only thing I like about Casey.
And what's Kenny doing?
That is weird because I don't like neither one of them, but I do like them being in a relationship together.
I don't.
I do. I think it's so cute.
You didn't answer my question.
Child, who knows and who cares? Next.
I just want to know, like,
I don't even know. I honestly didn't even know that man was Kenny until you said his name. Like, I had to do process elimination real quick in my head. No one knows that, man. He's as boring as his sister, and that's hard to be. That's like, so on the boring scale, Casey's already a 1.5 at most, and he's lower than that.
He's not gagging at the comp, so there's nothing for him.
Nothing.
He has nothing. Nothing.
Child.
Now, if I was in that house, would I be all up on him? He would have. If I was in that house, y'all, he would have a storyline because
Pharaoh's on random.
Kenny would be the one who would. I would give him a storyline because I would.
I can see that.
You see it? You see
it? I do. That's definitely
my type. He's my type.
You'd be like, oh my god,
he's just so sweet. Nice.
They'd be like, it would be a whole segment. Oh my god, Pharaoh has a crush on Kenny. Mm-hmm. It would be a whole segment,
and I would be so dramatic about it. If you put him in, then it's gonna be a problem. Like,
oh my god, you Bailey, Jay.
You got the fuck out of Jay. Oh my god, shout out to Bailey. Bailey needs to come back quick.
Really?
So after this,
all the mothers need to come back to their thrones. Come on, Cam, where you at? Daylon, where you at?
Killer Cam. I would love to.
Oh, she had a baby. The crazy Leroy. They are so cute together. They had a whole baby you didn't know.
So cute. I think I did know, and then I forgot.
Yes. I hope that she comes back because that's the thing. The season that Amber won, I think it was Double Agents. That was her last season. That was the season that she was like, "I'm here to win. I'm here to come in here and fucking win." And I think Amber won for first. I'm pretty sure Cam got second and Nany got third. Yeah.
Nany gonna make it to a final.
Nany gonna make it to a final, but I'm really hoping Cam can get her win.
Cam needs to come get her win real quick, just for a real quick one.
It would have been great if her and Leroy could have been on Ride or Dies, but I'm pretty sure she was pregnant during filming, or they just had a baby.
Yeah. They have so many things. There's always going to be a reason for Cam to come back. She came back this season. Her and Leroy just randomly, like Veronica and Darrell. Boom. But so after
they would have took them too.
Would have. After this, Aneesa.
This is what I don't like about Aneesa this season. Well, I don't ever. I just don't like her. It's just like, why are you? She's approaching Jay, and she's like, "Well, why did you throw us in?" I just don't understand. I had a gut feeling that we were going to go in originally, and then Jay is like, "Well, you weren't going to go in. Like, I don't know why you had that feeling." And she's like, "So what? This happened after he came at you? After he yelled at you? Really? Of course."
Literally, yes. Literally, yes.
By yelling at me, you prove that you don't like me. You prove that if you win, which you're capable of doing, even when you have, a lot of dead weight, that you will throw me in. So Aneesa trying to smile and giggle in this man's face, it's like, that's why I don't, like, Aneesa has nothing but seniority. Aneesa is nothing but grandfathered into this game because everyone sees right through it. Like, girl, what are you talking about? I mean, we weren't coming against you guys. Like, we were never gonna, like, we see through it. You walking around here talking to everybody. You're the oldest veteran here. Of course you're working with the veterans. We're not dumb, bitch. Ooh, you're not a bitch. You're not dumb, girl. We're not dumb. Somebody's not a bitch, but we're not dumb.
Yeah, so that was just weird. Just weird. I don't like her. Next. After this, we get to the challenge. The challenge is called Peaking Blinders or whatever.
Is that a play on words? Is it like a movie?
It's something. It's something about it. That's something. It was recognizable for sure. Okay, if you're visual, I have the girls on the screen. Go to YouTube. So, what you have to do is, girl, what do you got to do? You have to balance. One of your partners have to balance on this little ass pole that will open up your blinds. The other partner on the opposite side has to climb up a fucking ladder to see the blinds. That blinds will reveal the pattern of your specific triangular puzzle, which is colored and shaped coordinate. You will then have to run down a whole big ass field hallway thing to the other side, where then you will recreate that pattern puzzle.
And one thing I've noticed with the challenge is that they've really dumbed down a lot of it, I think, just to make them more equal. But what they'll do is that they'll put in random physical activity for a simple ass puzzle. And I will say this puzzle is not that simple, but they love to throw a lot of physical activity at them just to tire them out. That's not really that relevant to what's going on. And then have this semi-hard, sometimes easy puzzle. And it's just like, I don't know, more thought?
I don't know, more thought. This was the exact same situation as the last challenge. Like, you dig, you build a puzzle. Like, I don't know. But I will say in this particular one, there was I think there's an advantage to being a little faster. Barely. But hey, I do think the fastest people got it up. So we started off and we get the little preview commentary. We get Nany and Johnny talking, and essentially Nany is like, Darrell and Veronica are playing both sides, and we don't really trust that. And they also slide in that Tori and Devin also haven't gotten thrown in, so it's giving they are also playing both sides. So, like I said, Tori and Devin were already clocked a little bit. Like, people were not really giving from that. So the challenge starts, and immediately Nelson is taken off. Nelson is in the front. And Nurys has a diary room, and she's like, "Ooh, I would love to help Nelson finally get a challenge victory, a challenge win. He's doing so good. We're in a good position, so maybe we."
And it's like, I agreed with her until the rest of this episode played out.
Me too.
He did deserve a challenge win until he actively once again chose why he'll never get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. We're over here hoping and praying that these people who've played all of these times and all of these who came back season after season, hoping they can win just because they got a big name in the season. But when they go on and play, you're not doing shit but helping Bananas get to the end. Nany and Casey and Kenny get to the end, most likely. Most likely Tori and Devin get to the end. Like, you're just helping the same people get to the end every time, and that's why you don't win. Like, I don't know. It's really the definition of crazy. You know how they say, like, oh, you keep doing something over and over time, you're expecting a different outcome? These people are coming back season after the season, playing the exact same game, and are still sitting here, well, why can't I win? Because bananas are still playing. That's why you can't win. The same people who've been winning are still winning. Every once in a while, you get your Amber, who's a new girl. You know, we have a new era of people, so there's a little bit more winners. You know, some of these veterans are not as strong. So I feel like there's more room. But the consistency is that there's always this veteran crew that everyone just plays for. And then the players like Nelson, the players like Fessy, they get cut because you're not actively doing anything else but helping other people. But hey,
we'll see. Maybe it'll work out this time. So after this, we see that quickly Nelson and Nurys kind of take a lead. So we're looking at the puzzles and we're getting some diary rooms. One of the diary rooms we got is from Devin. Devin says that he's looking at the biggest pieces because he feels like if he memorizes the biggest pieces first, that'll help him out. We get a Darrell diary room, and Darrell says like, baby, I'm gonna take my time. Me and Veronica, we're just going to take our time, slow and steady wins the race, woo, girl, whatever. After this, Nurys and Nelson start actually building their puzzle first. And when they're building their puzzle, Nurys is like, Nelson isn't memorizing a lot, but I am because I have a great memory. So this shit is easy for me. Like, these bitches sleeping on me, z's.
I will say Nurys really is, challenge-wise, that girl.
Yes, because Nelson hasn't won a daily, and then now Nurys is his partner. He's won two. Like,
and he even says that like
there has to be
the best thing that happened to him for real. It's like it is. She is. I'm glad you know. So after this, Nany mentions that she's using names to memorize the colors. She's like, green is George and blue is my Blissy. Like, and that's why, like, honestly, it's not even that I feel like I can't do these type of things like on the Amazing Race of the Challenge. It's just that I've never been in a position to where my mind needs to be tested in those ways. So I don't know how I would go up there and memorize that triangle. I feel like initially I'd be like, oh God, I can't do this. Because I've just never done it before. Because I don't have a strategy in my mind to work out how to memorize. You know what I mean? Like I would just have to wing it, which would be winging it. Who knows what winging it looks like at the moment. But it's just like, I don't know, like, because you don't get tested like this in everyday life. Like, why? I don't have to figure this out.
So, we see Chauncey and Amber starting to put their shit together. And Chauncey's like, oh, girl, I done already forgot the colors. And Amber's like, Chauncey,
are you colorblind? Why she asked that man that?
Because it's like, what's going on?
Amber was confused.
Chauncey hasn't been doing the best at these. And it's some new people, if you get it, you get it. And the girls,
you gotta get the hang of it.
I can see Chauncey in 2-3 seasons, if he comes back, being one of the it girls. I can see him really learning how to become better. But right now, he hasn't been doing. Some people, they're like learners. And some people, you know, they come in and they can immediately get it. Not to toot my own horn, I think I can come in and kind of just.
You can't even swim.
I don't think I would have to swim.
Sometimes you do.
I don't think I would ever.
The one that Jay and Michelle won, the first one they won, they had to swim. It was a lot of swimming.
I would have lost that one, but Jay and Michelle wouldn't put me in.
Period.
The equalizer.
Social king.
The equalizer. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. A lot of people also aren't like really playing. One thing about me, if I get in this house, babe,
it's giving everybody. West.
I'm gonna be fucking Kenny. Fessy's gonna think I'm one of his hoes. Horatio's gonna think I'm Laurel. Like,
so you're gonna be whoring around the house.
I'm gonna be whoring. That's what they do. That's what Nany did for fucking 13 years.
No!
And still hasn't got her win. I don't know.
No!
Do y'all know how many different challenge people Nany
Sidetrack. Amber and Chauncey are so cute. You saw how they were holding hands as they ran.
No, that shit was gay and slowing them down. That's why they fucking got. Look, come on, like please.
They're cute. I love Amber and Chauncey.
So my ride or die would definitely be like a cute little black girly, like an Amber or so that I played Big Brother with. And I feel like if we got on the challenge,
we love a delusional. Come on.
And I feel like we got on the challenge. We would just have to eat it up. Like, y'all aren't gonna put us in. Like, it's not gonna. Like,
Girl, it definitely depends on what season you on because it's rookies get thrown in regardless. And the thing is, just as y'all y'all don't have to necessarily win or lose. If you just middle of the pack and they're like, oh, well, they been here too long. They're a rookie. They've been here too long. They ain't winning. Throw them in.
No, because I'm gonna have all the vets loving me.
It doesn't matter how much they.
It does matter. It's never happened. Name a time it's happened.
What do you mean?
Name a time where the
they all love Horatio,
and he's not in.
He's not getting thrown in. I think it's because a lot of other shit's been going on, but they don't. They're not protecting Olivia and Horatio.
But they're gonna make it to the end. They're gonna be in the final. I know. I'm calling it now.
Okay, let's see. I hope so. Honestly, I would hope so. I will say,
I do think Olivia and Horatio are doing good because they are social. But
also, these are some weak ass veterans. Like they're doing good because you have people like Nelson and Fessy who are helping them, Loki, and then Jay and Michelle, their first win. Like literally, Fessy, Jay and Michelle's first win, Nelson and them, they all have been helping the veterans. The only time the veterans have got was really Jay and Michelle's second time. So they got Laurel and Homegirl, and then Johnny and Raven the first round. That's it. Because everyone else has been helping them. And that happens all the time. Like Banani hasn't won shit. Tori and Devin has come in second a lot and hasn't won it. Case and K ain't winning nothing. Jordan and Lisa ain't winning nothing.
If these are the new veterans, the new slaves, that's not what I meant, but that's a song. If these are the new veterans, when I get on, I'm chilling. I ain't scared of none of these holes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not intimidated at all. Now, if I saw Bananas, I ain't gonna lie, my boots would be shaking a little bit.
Bananas old. He can't do nothing no more.
He's still intimidated. Look how he's running through this season like a Tomb Raider.
And that's why people ain't putting him in. I'm not scared of Bananas. He's old. I would call him old to his face, and I wouldn't put him in. Like, I'm so sorry. And y'all would gag, and y'all would ask me to come back every season. That's the thing. If I don't win my first season, that's fine. I just gotta spice it up a little bit. Get somebody out. Because that's the thing. This is the thing. Like, the rookies will come in, and they'll be like, I want to make a move. And then they don't put in Johnny and Nani. Put in Johnny and Nani and quit playing.
Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to talk about making a move when it's time to make a move. Bitches that want to make the motherfucking move. That's why shout out to motherfucking Johnny and Raven. First challenge, they looked at all of them best and said, "Boy, you didn't going in, and one of you hoes going in."
They didn't put in Johnny and Nani, and that pissed me off.
But hey, at least they put it with all vets. It was all vets, and that was enough, honestly. To be honest, truly. So after this, Jordan has a diary room, and he said, well, I knew we wouldn't be the fastest in the pack, but I at least expect Aneesa to have a good memory, and she don't even got that. And it's like, damn. And like, I figured that this was going to come out of Jordan at some point because he's so overly competitive. And Aneesa hasn't been here to do good at the challenges in years. Okay, let's just be honest.
Why is she here?
Talk about someone here for vacation. That's Aneesa. This just pays her bills at this point. So it's like, I did not think this was going to be necessarily a good pair because Jordan wants to win. He wants to win.
Why does Aneesa want to come back?
Like I said, I think it pays her bills. She's not doing anything else.
I just feel like, get a job.
Yeah, this is her job. That's what I'm saying. I was like, get a job, but this is her job.
That's unfortunate. Like, when are they going to fire her? They need to fire her quick.
They ain't going to fire her because it's like,
I feel like they should.
The whole thing of the challenge is the nostalgia. I can see the producers being like, we love them. And you know, TJ definitely loved it, seeing the old asses every time they come back.
I feel like they should fire her. I just do. Like, she's not bringing in views. Like, what's she doing for us? So anyways.
Bringing mess. I'll say that. She's a messy little something.
I have written down, Veronica and Darrell are not doing anything?
Why is... Okay, it's not a magnetic puzzle at all. So you have to solve it from the bottom. They're putting the pieces at the top, and they can't move it. And then you keep putting it up.
And it's just falling every time.
And he's like, it's not gonna stick. Then they drop it and they walk away.
And walk away.
TJ even TJ get the ass because he was like, it's a 20 minutes to go and come back, and they didn't get that.
Nothing. That's ridiculous. So after this, Jordan is getting a little frustrated with it. He's actually getting a little frustrated, and so
this is so funny.
So Aneesa has to. They arrive at the podium where they have to look at the puzzle. And so Jordan, he's stepping on and he's about to balance, and Aneesa has to climb up.
He's like, hold on.
Aneesa's like, hold on, and he's like, you can rest at the top of the pole. And it's like, yes, Daddy.
And she's like, I'm getting up there. No, bro. No, I was like, bro, I would hate my big ass. I would hate to have Jordan as a partner. Oh my God.
He would be nice for the first 3 rounds.
I feel like he's mainly nice because Aneesa a woman. He would be on my ass. I just feel it.
You're right.
I just feel it. Because if you ever seen and granted, Jordan was not around in them seasons, but if you will see how they talked about Big Easy in the early times, you know Big Easy is, right? So, and you know, it was a lot of team competitions. Which one did I watch? I don't know if it was Gauntlet. I don't know. It could have been. I think it was Vets and Rookies. It was Vets versus Rookies. CT was on that team. But basically, I remember Big Easy was on there, and it was a team.
They were tied together.
They was tied together. Big Easy, bro. Big Easy could not keep up. They was like, they was calling him all type of fat asses. It was bad. It was bad. It was so bad. And I want to say, was it Derek? You know, little short Derek from the All Stars recap. He was the recap All Stars one.
Yeah,
he was the only one like standing back like, no, we need to help him. Or was it Brad? I think it was Brad actually.
It was Brad.
Brad was like, we need to help him. Like, what are y'all doing? And they was like, no, he needs to go. And it's like he is literally dying. And I was just like, that would be me. Oh my god! But no, it's crazy because he's like. He's getting frustrated because like they walking, and he was like, "Walking isn't even trying," and I was like, "What? Walking not trying?
Jogging is trying, maybe. I don't know. You're on the challenge, so like you know where you're at. Anissa, you've been doing this for decades. You know what you're playing. Why are you acting doing? That's why you never won, bitch. Like, ooh, not a bitch. That's why you never won. Like, why are you walking? Like, this is the challenge, babe, not the leisure, not the walk. Babe, get to it. The fuck. And you're here to win.
She said I'm not sprinting nowhere. I am built for comfort, not for speed. And she's like, it's basically going to come down to the puzzle anyway. But y'all are not able to see.
Right. That you haven't went to.
That you haven't memorized.
You haven't memorized. But like, that's the thing. You didn't even, girl. So Nelson and Nurys are killing it. And at this point, Tori and Devin are in second place once again. And that's the thing. Like, once again, a team with a rookie player on it is in the lead. Yep. Not yet has Vet team won still, and they are all still here.
Well, Banani did.
Banani has not won.
Banani did win.
What did they win?
They won a daily.
What daily?
They remember they threw with Jay Michelle first. Michelle was crying.
Oh, okay, my bad.
So yeah, they have won.
I was getting real buck.
It's been so. I'm trying to keep up with who has went home and who has stayed, but it's like they did have one. But Banani is their only veteran win, and they came in, won, and haven't won since. It
hasn't won since.
So yeah, Banani did win. I remember someone corrected us on that.
My fault.
Because I mean, the thing is, for lack of a better word, it's easy to say the veterans ain't won shit because that's their only win. I mean, there's been how many dailies?
That's the thing. Y'all doing all this. The veterans have won 1 of 7. 1 of 7 has a vet team won. Please. So, anyways, Nelson and Nurys are killing it, and they end up just winning, babe. Like, let's get it done. So Nelson and Nurys win. And Tori has a diary room before they win, and she's like, I'm kind of scared of Nurys. Like, Nurys is killing it. She's that girl, and I wish I was her. And it's like, yes, I bet you do wish you were her. So back at the house.
And then we get that. The challenge love to set it up real nasty. He go, Amber, I 100% trust Nelson and Nurys. I'm not going anywhere. Like I'm good. Like, yeah.
We get a Nelson diagram. He's talking about, I'm Spider Nelly and I'm with this shit and
he's so corny, Jesus.
I'm finna eat it up and da-da-da-da. So we see him have a conversation with Devin and Jay. It's Nelson, Devin, and Jay. And they start discussing like as if they're an alliance. And they start mentioning that maybe we could put in Nany and Johnny and what's that about? And what you think of that? And Devin has a diary room and he says, I want to push Nelson toward putting in Johnny and Nany. Like putting in Johnny and Nany. Because we need to get these heavy hitters out of here. Like we don't need any heavy hitters in here.
I really respect this from Devin because it's like like he's not just sitting there. That's what's annoying about these veterans like Banani and Nisa who are getting upset by getting thrown in, and you're not doing anything for real. Whereas like Devin's like he's keeping himself safe. He's keeping himself safe actively by making deals, talking to people. Like it got a little messy this episode, and it was definitely an expense to my girl Amber. But at least he's doing something.
You know why I forgot the Johnny and Nany win? I always thought it was rigged. Because that was a timed win. And I remember watching and thinking, they did not.
Maybe Rachel should have got that.
Olivia Horatio won that, but we move. We move. So, Devin starts literally telling Nelson who to put in. So Devin was like, "Well,
he literally names all 4 of the pairs that got put in." Spoiler.
Devin was like, "We need some new champs, and if we want to get out some old champs, we need to put in Veronica and Darrell, Aneesa and Jordan, Nani and Johnny. Like, I don't know, and I don't really trust Chauncey or Amber. What do you think?" And that was it. And Jay has Dyram. He's like, I mean, if Devin wants a new champ, then I can work with Devin. I'm down with it because he wants a new champ. I'm not a new champ, so we good. Like, or he wants a new champ.
And Devin even mentions here, like, Nelson, he does not play the game strategically at all. Like, he's pushing him towards a strategic decision because he plays emotionally. He plays with his heart. And I think, even with this decision, it was definitely smart for Devin, but it wasn't 100% smart for Nelson because
it was terrible for Nelson.
You threw in one of your closer allies in Amber, and then you also threw in all of these veterans who didn't really have your back to begin with, but now they have an actual reason to put your ass in. And you did it all for Devin, who is.
And you were also. And honestly, of the other veterans you put in, you didn't even put in the ones you should have put in because he mentioned he had a relationship with Nany and with Darrell. Why'd you put them in when you could have been in Casey and Kenny?
Because he didn't want Casey to go against Nany.
He could have just put in. I think if you weren't going to put Johnny and Nany in the zone, you could have just picked Casey and Kenny in the first place if you had such a strong relationship with Nany. Like, even when he made a decision, it was stupid. Like, even if nothing he did was right. It was dumb as fuck. And I remember us not liking nothing they did the first time Nelson and Nurys won.
But it worked out. It worked out mainly because of Olivia's plan. Remember, they put in Olivia and Horatio. I believe it was with I can't really remember what he was at this point. But basically, Olivia came up with the plan to put us in so we can get chosen by Darrell and Veronica.
Mm-hmm.
And then I forget who got thrown in. Was it Tommy and Annalise?
No.
Yeah, no. Nelson, Nurys threw in Tommy and Annalise.
Okay.
And then Olivia and Horatio saved Veronica and Darrell, and Kim and Colleen beat Tommy and Annalise. Okay. So it was it was stupid because it was like, why are you throwing Kim and Colleen? Why are you throwing Olivia? But Olivia kind of had this plan. It worked out because all the connections. But
and this is my thing. This is why it's dumb because Nelson has now decided that Jay is somebody he's actually working with, which is a newbie, and that is the line he's drawn.
And that's mainly because Devin, in one conversation, made both of them trust him.
That line.
Like, and I don't think Devin at all is 100% loyal to it, like at all. Like,
he's not loyal to it
at all. And it's like no one. I mean, y'all play with him.
Devin.
Y'all know
who Devin is. Why are you doing this? You're so but I guess if people are, and that's the thing, the challenge doesn't cast for brains. No offense, they cast more for muscle.
Well, they're not even cast. They just pull from other shows, and they're past. He's from Are You the One? Like, they weren't casting for intelligence.
They pull from other shows, and they're not casting for intelligence. So you get people on here who are dumb as rock.
That's why the smarter people always come from CBS, because you're getting people from Survivor, you're getting from Big Brother, and I guess it honestly does show that. I guess they just no shade to the challenge girls. Some of the challenge girls, because some of them are smart, but for the most part, it's definitely. They cast more strategically choosing the Survivor and the Big Brother shows just because, they've come on here and just ran circles around them strategically. Minus Casey and Fessy. That's why it's not all of them. But you see Casey and Fessy slipped right in to the environment, didn't they? Because they're boring. You do that nothing but win.
And that's the thing. I'm looking at this cast. No one here is smart other than Olivia. And maybe Devin. Like, everyone here is actually dumb. I would genuinely call everyone here very dumb. Maybe Jordan's a little smart sometimes. This is just a dumbass group of people.
Oh my god!
No, it is. They're really not that smart like that. And I can see why teams like Olivia and Horatio are doing good even as newbies because they're working with a Nelson and a Fessy. Like, they're not going to do much for us. Casey's stupid too. All they got to do is,
oh my god!
Like, they just don't have to do much. Like, that's why it's just a bunch of dumbass people. I really think if I got on the challenge, I would eat them up. They're stupid. So we get to the deliberation. That was horrible. But I said what I said. We get to the deliberation. And so
Nelson lists all the names that Devin told him to list.
Yep. So after this.
Well, we can go through a little bit.
Nelson mentions. He says, so we can definitely do Aneesa and Jordan and Nani's and Bananas. And then he mentions, and Amber and Chauncey, we could put them in. And I got very confused. Because if you recall, Amber and Nelson have a very good relationship.
Yep.
Of the newbies, Amber and Nelson actually have a history. He's played with her, so there's actually reason for him to not want to put her in. It really was confusing.
And then he kind of lists the reasons as to why they have to put her in. He's basically like, he doesn't want to put Casey and Kenny in because he doesn't want Casey still against Nany, which I think is a dumbass.
I have 5 question marks. What does that mean? What does he mean by that?
Fucking reason. Like, what does her going against her fiance, girlfriend, what the fuck has to do with you? Nothing. And then he says he can't put in Tori and Devin because of this new alliance that Devin just so happened made after you won. And of course, he's not gonna put in Olivia in ratio because Olivia is throwing it back real good. Olivia's for her, man.
Smart queen.
Strategic queen.
So, and he said he came to the festival because that's his boy. But honestly, I just don't know why he didn't just put in Casey and Kenny. Like, I feel like that reasoning just doesn't exist. I don't think that reasoning actually
doesn't make any sense at all. Actually, I think, and at this point, I feel like it comes down to, and we definitely see it from the other events that happened throughout the night, is that he just didn't see the benefit in keeping Amber and Chauncey. Like, he didn't see the benefit in protecting them. Like, that's why he was so cool, I feel like, working with Jay. Jay has proven that he's going to win challenges at least this season with Michelle. They won twice in a row. Devin has a history. Amber, she does have the one win, but people don't really like her that well, and she hasn't been winning anything this season. So he's like, I honestly feel like it was basically like, I like her, but I can risk this friendship because I'm too scared of half the people that are here, and I'm cool with other ones.
That's the issue. It's not why are you the daily challenge winner, but you're playing defense? Like, that's the defense's move. I have to protect myself by just letting Amber go. Babe, this is your time to play offense and take out a heavy hitter. You just pissed off 3 other teams and Amber and Chauncey because they did not go home. For what? When you could have just took out a heavy hitter team. All you had to do was put in Casey and Kenny. It was over. Somebody was going home. Somebody heavy was going home, and they were all mad at you anyways. Casey Kenny didn't go in, and they're still pissed at you because you put in Nany. Are you dumb or stupid? You put in Nany. You put Nany in. You think Casey gives a fuck about you? She doesn't.
And then the reason even mentioned, like, if we're gonna throw in Banani, then I kind of want them to go. Like, they should go if we throw them in. And it's like 100%,
1000%. Because now they're gonna come back, and if of these teams you put in, the only one who has won a day is Nany and Banana. So why haven't you put them in? Which I forgot about, but now that I remember, put them in. What the fuck? Like, that shit is crazy. So anyway,
I feel like I would have a block at all times. It would, for me, it would always be Aneesa and Jordan.
Nany and
Banani, and Casey Kenny. Since y'all all want to be besties, friends, fucking all of that, y'all can sit in the nomination block together.
It's nomination block. That's the thing. Like, why are they not all in?
Don't know.
You just got out Veronica and Darrell.
And then he even mentions in the deliberation, he's like, "Oh, I'm cool with Veronica and Darrell too, but maybe we can save them by putting in Amber and Chauncey." So you're gonna save 2 people who you can work with by putting in 2 other people that you can work with.
It just makes no sense. You got out.
That's the thing. Even going by that list, I mean, we have not seen in any way, shape, or form that Casey and Kenny would keep Nelson and Marie safe. Meanwhile, Amber has been declaring her loyalty since day 1. I'm confused.
This just makes no sense. So, girl, whew. We get to the reveal, and we see who they chose, the 4 teams they choose. And we get a diary room for Jay. And Jay is like, I mean, as long as they choose and they put in Nany and Bananas or Jordan and Aneesa as the direct vote, then I'm good. I don't care. Because they did the right thing. Mm-hmm. And they did not do that. So Olivia has a diary room and she's like, I just know Nelson loved me because he did not put me in. Mm-hmm. I know this pussy power working.
Pussy power paying by hour.
So after this, there's whispers around the villa.
It really is.
And those whispers are saying that Devin is clearly doing some shit. Because why Tori and Devin ain't in again?
It's funny because it's like, even if Tori and Devin wasn't doing anything, like, it's like y'all are mad because they're not going in. Like, y'all can't get mad because they not getting thrown in.
Exactly. And I would be too.
No, because what's T?
Because what's T? How y'all not in again? Like, what's T? Like, what's T?
To be fair, I don't think I'd be that. I wouldn't be. I would be putting them in mainly putting their connection, but clearly no one else is considering that. I feel like if, honestly, let's say Aneesa and Jordan weren't there and they didn't have that connection, I would be 2 guys to throw them in.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, like I said, like the intimidation factor from a lot of these veterans is just like not there, in my opinion.
But that's the thing. If
Banani, to be 100% transparent, Banani would slightly intimidate me. No one else.
Enough to not put you in, not put them in.
I'll put them in, but I'd still be intimidated. I'd intimidatedly put them in. That's the thing. That's the thing. I'll be a weak, scary bitch and still put you in. Like, I don't understand. Like, you can be scared and still throw them in. Like, I don't understand.
I don't get it either. I will say, if I was here, I would be looking at who's coming in second at the comps, especially if I'm a
Tori and Devin a lot.
And Tori and Devin have come in second a lot. They would have got put in, and they would have been the vote. I would put them in, to be honest. Because either they're going against their best friend Aneesa and Jordan, or they're going against Nany Bananas, who I don't care about, or they're going against Casey and Kenny, who I don't care about, because I would have put all four of the team. I don't give a fuck about it.
It's just, it sucks because I mean his first two daily wins in 20 years, and they were both terrible. Both terrible.
He took out arguably the two weakest. No, he took out the two weakest teams this season.
Just to be sitting in with some of the strongest. And the thing is, like, literally, and TJ even said it in an episode, like, this is a stacked group of nominations. And it's like, yeah, it's stacked back based on, like, stats. But when it comes to, like, this season, per se.
In reality, it's not so.
He could have came harder.
Because even honestly, even Aneesa and Jordan, because of one of them, are not really that good of a team at all. Like, I wouldn't even be too gagged about them. And he said himself, Amber and Chauncey aren't a good team. So the only good team you put in, you didn't even put all the way in, which was Johnny and Nany. My thing is, I would have been happier if he just put in Horatio and Olivia, Johnny and Nany, Michelle and Jay, and just went with it. Because at least Michelle and Jay won 2 dailies, and Olivia Horatio got in top 2 flights. At least take out a threat. Honestly, I think at this point, I would have rather him just chose the vets. Because what the fuck was this? What the fuck was this? Like, you might as well just chose a side. Well, he did choose a side. And I don't even know what side he chose.
Girl. I guess a new side. He created a side with Devin. Devin created a side with Nelson.
That only exists for this one round.
Literally.
So Johnny has a diary room. He says Devin is playing all sides, but we knew that. And he said he's reminding me of Elf with red hair.
He doesn't say that here.
Oh, he doesn't say that here.
No, this is the chat he has with Nany.
But he is reminding him of an elf.
Definitely playing both sides.
He's starting to remind somebody of an elf.
And Nany randomly says, "Why are you throwing Fessy? You want to take our big right? Throw it,
Fessy." Yeah, I literally have that written down. I'm like, what?
Another person getting thrown in the bus by veterans that were protected.
But this is my thing. Nany is clearly stupid. And I said this in her last when she did win. I said this, but let me tell you why. Why would you think that Nelson would throw in Fessy? You know they cool. I think
she was just saying anything because she was mad. You know, sometimes you just stuff just come out.
And that's her problem. She needs to shut the fuck up. She stay talking. I don't like her.
But they definitely clocked that this cannot be Nelson's plan because
it just don't make sense.
It don't make sense. It don't make sense for Nelson. Like, that's the thing. That's how I know it's not his plan, because it makes no sense for him. And his dumb ass walking around here like a goddamn puppet.
It doesn't make sense in general, Red, and it doesn't make sense for Nelson.
You know how anyone else who knows this, Christian from BB23, how they call him like a golden doodle? That's Nelson. Nelson gives golden retriever energy, don't he?
He does.
Definitely.
And golden retrievers just can't win. So Devin has a diary room, and he says, "I'm gonna do what I gotta do to win. I don't know about the other girls. Like, you other girls, you can."
I'm not playing a clean. He literally says, "Like, look at the lineup of people. Like, why would I play a clean game?" And it's like 1,000%, 1,000%.
Why would you ever play a clean? Why would I ever play clean?
Respect it. I respect
it. For what? When is a good time to play clean? Go.
It never is. It never is. It only works for people. It only works for a certain specific type of people. It really does. Well, not even.
Who does it even work for? Because Johnny don't even play clean.
That's what I'm saying. Johnny could be a good example because he doesn't have to get his hands dirty that much, but he still plays dirty every once in a while. Like, you have to play dirty. Like,
why are you playing clean? Clean for what? And that's the thing. It's weird because no one really is playing clean, but it gets mentioned. But who's really playing clean? Nobody. Next. We get to the interrogations. Veronica and Darrell talk. And honestly, Veronica was just like, I mean, it's okay, girl. And it's not okay. I don't know why she would say that. It's not okay. Don't put me in.
And then he's basically like, Amber and Chauncey and Aneesa and Jordan will save you guys. So you're good. You're definitely not going in.
Girl. After this, Jordan and Aneesa pull up. And they didn't have no smoke. For Nelson and Nurys.
And it's because I will say Nelson has definitely garnered some respect. And, you know, Nurys, I just think you ain't going to talk to Nurys crazy. Jay and Michelle I could talk to you any type of way.
You can talk to me any type of way.
And they tried it and got thrown in.
And did. It might need to not do that ever again. After this, they get to talk with Amber and Chauncey. And Nerissa was just like, I mean, hopefully you guys can be saved by Veronica and Darrell. We put y'all in with y'all besties. Like, y'all can save each other. Y'all are good. And Amber was like, honestly, y'all, I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just hurt. Like, y'all were supposed to be my friend Nelson. You specifically. I told you I came in here and you and Darrell were the people who I was fucking with. Y'all were in my top 4. And I was fucking with y'all. And Nelson was like, I mean, but you weren't in our.
And I was just like, wow.
And I was like, where are they? My thing is, pause there. Who do you think Nelson's top 4 is? It's not gonna make sense, but who do you think?
Probably Fessy and Mariah. At this point, Jay and Michelle, Tori and Devin.
And Horatio and Olivia? Yep. That makes no fucking sense. That's your top 4? 4 teams that can beat you? Like, literally, like, dead ass. What the fuck? And I y'all, the fact that that's his top 4, he's fucking ridiculous.
But it's like,
and if that's his top 4, why isn't Amber and Chauncey 5? Who is 5?
And this is why I feel like it came from the fact that he knew it made no sense to even nominate them or put them in. But it's the fact that, I mean, I don't think he fully cared to lose Amber's trust in that way or her friendship in that way. He was like looking at who's here. He decided who he can't put in. He decided who his top 4, and looking at the list of people, Amber and Chauncey are just available. And he's like, well, they gotta go in. That's why, like, he couldn't really provide a good answer. Like, he was just being defensive in that conversation. That's why it slipped out. He was just saying anything to try and be like, well, no, it makes sense for you to be sitting here when it doesn't. It makes zero sense why someone who has pledged their loyalty to you since the beginning is being nominated. It's idiotic.
And that's what I wanted to ask. Nelson said they're not in his top 4. But Amber said, y'all are in our top 4. Nelson's not thinking, is the people in his top 4, are you in their top 4? Because you're not. Because
it was only said to combat what Amber said. It wasn't even no thought put it into it. He just wanted to combat what she said. The first thing that popped in his mind. You could tell. You could tell. And then this is when I don't know where Nerese's mind went.
Babe.
I don't know. Beautiful gowns, real pretty face.
Beautiful girl.
She says, when Amber says she has Nelson's back, she doesn't fully trust it. Her intuition is telling her to be on your P's and Q's around Amber. Okay?
Great at comp.
I just like, are we watching the same show?
And this is the thing. Amber, and we didn't see Amber's first season, but we hear it was this similar energy that's starting with this Nerissa diary room that we'll see further goes along. And in Big Brother 16, it was a similar energy. And usually
a lot of the girls disliked her randomly, did not have a real reason.
Usually, not even usually. Well, no, usually with situations like this, it's a girls being jealous of her thing. What I noticed with Amber is that everybody is just jealous of her. Because even in BB16, a lot of the men we're
very scared of Amber.
And in this season, we hear men mentioning her name too. And it's like,
Amber gives bitches. I really don't get it.
Amber does not give that, like, over the screen. I'm like, Amber don't even know what's going on.
Like, is she being an evil bitch behind the scenes? Like, is she pissing in bitches' cereal? Is she slapping hoes? Like, what's happening? Because we are not seeing that on the screen at all. Like, I don't get it.
I think it's confidence. Anybody who exudes confidence but doesn't have like this is what it is about Amber.
Gorgeous girl.
Amber is genuinely nice. And she exudes confidence. Those two don't mix well with people. If you're confident, you have to have some type of meanness to you, or else people are going to think you're fake. And if you're nice, you can't exude that confidence, or people are going to think you're fake.
So and on top of that, she's really pretty.
And Taylor has the same thing. Taylor's genuinely nice. Taylor Hale from Big Brother. She's genuinely nice, and she's confident. And I think Anne really pretty.
And gorgeous down.
Those two things don't mix. It's hard for people to accept a confident, gorgeous, and nice person. They kind of think if you're confident, gorgeous, you have to be a little bit mean.
Because I just don't like.
You don't have to be.
Like it's like, and we kind of get it throughout the rest of this episode. They set it up as if she's some shady, sneaky, behind the back type of player, and it's like, that's what I'm saying. It can't be something off of screen because if that was how she played the game, we'd be seeing it. She does not do that. She hasn't done shit all season so far.
Literally. So. After this, we see Johnny and Nandi have a conversation, and
Oh no, it's the Banani interrogation.
Johnny and Nani have interrogation. I'm sorry. And Nelson is talking to Johnny, and he's just like,
Bananas cut him off.
He cut him the fuck up.
Like, he has no respect for his bitch ass. Like,
none. And Johnny was like, okay, I don't care about it. I just don't want to be the main vote. Just don't make me the main vote.
And here come Nani. You know, Nani is hilarious. Because Nani is like, she's not coming here with no politicking. She's definitely not coming here being nice. She sits there. She allows people to talk. And then she comes in. She's like, you know what, Nelson? I thought you was a brother. And I'd be really upset if I'm going in. So think about that. Like, that's what she did. Like, okay, Nani. Okay. So let me write down. If I throw Nani in, she's going to be really upset. Like, I don't give a fuck, Nani.
I don't know if Nelson is a pussy ass bitch, or if Johnny and Raven are pussy ass bitches, or if Fessy's a pussy ass bitch, or if Michelle and Jay are pussy ass bitches. But I know I'm not. And every time Johnny and Nani come into a motherfucking interrogation, they try to intimidate a bitch. You're not gonna fucking talk to me crazy. You're not gonna cut me off and then not get put in. Nani, you're not gonna say, I would just be really, Andrew put in Casey, and y'all not gonna buck up to me and not get put in. Why y'all not put in the
You're getting thrown in.
Johnny and Nani should have been in every damn round the way they be talking to people. You bitches are old, not fucking my father. Like, just because you're old doesn't mean you're my dad and my mom. Like, you're not gonna talk to me like I'm your son.
Any
like,
kind of
way. They would have
way.
got put the fuck in. Y'all need to do better with this casting. I know y'all just pulling from any show, but pull some bitches who gonna really say some shit. Because, like I said, all these bitches is dumb, and the ones who not dumb is weak. Like, oh my god, please get some real. None of these bitches are real. I'm just looking at this screen. Look at this screen. Ugh. Shout out to Amber and Chauncey and Olivia and Horatio. And that's all.
Michelle?
That's all. A weak bitch. Michelle weak as fuck. Why does she have? I just don't feel good about putting Nani in. Girl. After this, we at the club. Again. At the club, Chauncey and Amber, they have a discussion about how Devin is masterminding the girls, pissing the girls off, you know, doing all this extra shit behind the scenes. Amber is like, I've been peeping Devin shit. He getting on my nerves. We get another diary room from Nerese. Nerese once again says, Amber.
Something in me just always said Amber is not to be trusted.
Not to be trusted.
And her intuition has not been wrong.
Except now. So Nerese and Nelson talk. And
I'm saying how confident she was in her intuition in this thing. I'm like, ooh, how many times have you listened to your intuition and you've been wrong as hell?
Right, so we started fuck with Johnny in postseason.
Her intuition also told her that she was in love with Malcolm from the one, the big long dick nigga, and that did not turn out wrong either.
And both of those intuitions were
terrible.
She has great intuition. No shade, queen. So Nerese has a diary room. Oh no, Nerese and Nelson talk. I'm sorry. And Nelson is like, yeah, I fucked up in the deliberation. I shouldn't have told Amber what I said. I shouldn't have been like, oh my God, that you guys aren't in my top 4 and I feel bad. And Nerese is like, well, you know, Amber, she just feels like, you know, she was telling me that Devin is a snake.
Devin is a snake.
And Nelson is like,
Devin.
Did you say Nelson?
No, Devin.
He took that as if it was himself.
And then she kind of just goes in on saying Amber, the things she said about Devin throughout the season so far, like he's a snake and he's playing both sides and all this other stuff. And it's just like Nelson's getting so heated. And then when I was watching, I was like, so confused. I'm like, why is he getting so upset? And then I remembered, like, maybe it's this alliance that he made the day of winning.
I didn't even.
That's getting him so upset, and I'm just like,
it makes no sense why to be mad. It doesn't. She did not say his name. She said Devin's name. So, anyways, he goes and tells Devin.
Run straight to his master.
Ooh,
like the puppy dog he is.
Puppy he is.
The golden retriever he is.
Golden retriever he is. And and honestly, you know what's funny? I mentioned this at the beginning of the season. Nelson was always following something. I remember I mentioned how he used to follow Corey around. Whenever he was against it's true. Whenever he was against the best, he was never the leader. He was always the follower. And I mentioned, I was like, this season, it feels like he has the potential to actually lead his own game. And clearly he does not. He just needs someone to just tell him what to do. So he runs and tells Devin, and Devin is like, actually, Chauncey was trying to make deals with Jordan and try to have Jordan turn against that and go against the alliance.
And he basically set it up to make it seem like the conversation that we saw earlier with Chauncey and Jordan was Chauncey telling Jordan that he is going to go after Jay and all of his alliance.
And Devin. Yeah, Jay and his
alliance. So not even no names, just go after Jay and his alliance. Mm-hmm. So Devin convinced Nelson in this conversation that clearly Amber and Chauncey are talking with Jordan about going against Jay and his alliance. So he's basically talking about me, Tori, and Devin, and also you, Nelson Nurys. And I guess
Jay and Nelson had an alliance.
No one knew that, but then this is where it gets kind of confusing because, and this is why I was getting lost, and also it just gave to me they were looking for a reason to throw in Amber and Chauncey, point blank period, because the way none of this shit makes sense. So you mean to tell me that Chauncey and Jordan had a conversation before the alliance was made, and somehow Chauncey talked to Jordan about going after Jay's alliance that wasn't even created until after he talked to Jordan? Like, that just, unless the timeline of events was shown to us wrong, that's not possible. It's not possible at all, babe. And I will say, it's giving Nelson was drunk, especially in this next conversation with Amber and Chauncey, because he was talking like something was wrong with him. I would have popped the fuck off and got thrown in, no shade. But it's just, it gave to me, the way this made little to no sense, the way he immediately got mad at Amber for talking about Devin, not him, Devin, it just gave to me, you needed a reason. You needed to justify why she needs to go in, why she's this snake. It's just random. Because mind you, his name was not said. His name was not said at all. Even Jay's name got thrown in it. Nelson's Neither of those names never said. And he's the angriest one. How did it work?
So after this, Nelson goes and talks to Amber and Chauncey.
Yeah. And Nelson Nurys and Amber and Chauncey.
Nelson Nurys are sitting there with Amber and Chauncey. And Nelson asks Chauncey, so Chauncey, you had a conversation with Jordan. What was that about? What's the tea on that? And Chauncey was like, I don't even know
he's like, people know I am linked with Jay in this game.
And Chauncey and Amber were like, he
said, if you guys are coming after Jay, then what does that mean? And they were literally like, we're not coming after Jay. We're working with Jay. We're in an alliance with Jay. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're more linked with Jay than you are, I thought. I'm confused. Mind you, Amber and Michelle are best friends.
They literally sleep next to each other every night. Dumb.
Anyway. So, Nelson continues to pop off. Amber has a diary room, and she's like, it just seems like Nelson can hear one thing, and he'll just use it and twist it and run with it and extend it. And then he'll just use that as an excuse. And it seems like that's what he's doing right now. He might have heard something. And so she tells him, she's like, it just sounds like Devin told you something.
Mm-hmm. And you believed it.
And now you're going to go with that.
That's exactly what happened. Nelson did nothing but listen to Devin this entire episode. I'm glad everyone knows. Like, I'm happy that everyone knows.
Like, I feel like I would just be so embarrassed watching this back. Like, if I'm Nelson and I'm watching this, I would just be like, oh my God, I'm not only dumb, but stupid. You know? Like, I don't know, it's just so bad, but it's embarrassing. What's embarrassing is that Nelson's not new. I feel like,
he's been playing for a minute.
How do you not learn? Like, how do you not eventually?
How do you come back every season and play the exact same game and think you're going to win? Point blank, period. Like,
period. And I feel like for him, this isn't the same. That's why I don't even want to say that, because I feel like for him, he's like, I have been switching it up, but I just can't win.
It's consistently stupid, so yeah, it's kind of the same to me.
Yeah, consistently following someone, listening to someone else. That's the thing. If you are ever putting
consistently playing for other people,
and you know what the issue with manipulating someone is that it's hard for me to say, why are you just doing something someone else said? Because when they manipulate you, you think this is your genuine want. Nelson genuinely thinks these are the 4 teams he wanted to put in. When in reality, they were not. And it's hard for me to say they were not because I'm not Nelson. I don't know him. Like, if we were talking to him, he would probably be like, well, I did want to put these in.
Even if it was, like, no, he shouldn't have. It's stupid. Like, you're dumb.
That too. Either it wasn't genuinely what you wanted to do and you were accidentally manipulated, or it was what you wanted to do and you're dumb.
You're dumb either way, really.
And you're dumb either way. So after this, Amber is continuing to tell him that this seems like what Devin told you. it seems like Devin's running you basically, and she has a diary room. And she's like, one thing I don't play about is my money. Two things I don't play about is my money and my man. And he popping off at Chauncey, and I don't like that. So
I don't like that.
So that's that on that. Boom. After that, we back at the house. There's a conversation that's happening with Devin and Michelle, and I'm like, Michelle.
Devin is also giving drunk here.
Yeah, I was very confused, and so essentially Devin was like, Michelle, what did Amber say about me? And immediately, if I was Michelle, I would have got up and walked away. You're not going to talk to me.
Because the way he leads into it was like, no, I just don't want to be working with people who are claiming they're working with me, but are not telling me everything.
You're not going to talk to me like that. You're trying to undermine me. You're trying to demean me. You're trying to treat me like I'm a little bitch. We're not going to argue. I'm not going to have this conversation. I'm walking away. I would have gave him a kiss. And then I would have went to Amber, and I would be like, why does bitches walk up to me acting? Oh, y'all better get him. Like, it would have been crazy. Like, Devin not going to punk me, but that's the thing.
He ain't punk Michelle either for real, because she got that ass low-key.
He didn't punk Michelle for real. So after this, Michelle was like, Amber asked me, Amber didn't specifically ask me to put you in. She just wondered what deal did I make with you. And Devin was like, Michelle, I don't like being lied to. And I would have been like, Devin, I don't like when you talk to me like that, you stupid bitch. Devin would have got punched.
No, because he's like, I don't like being lied to. She's like, I agree, but also don't try and intimidate me.
Don't intimidate me. That's weird. And it was very weird. Michelle, it's interesting because, well, it's not interesting, but Michelle is definitely a certain personality. She's very, tries to be nice. And I think that people feel like they can punk her a little bit, but Michelle don't get punked. She's just nice. And I think that's what people need to realize, because Michelle don't just sit there. Another bit, if this would have been the wrong bitch, they would have been like, I'm so sorry. Well, she did apologize. But she also said, don't talk to me like this. So after that, Michelle was like, well, I'm sorry that you feel like that. And Devin was like, that right there?
That's a trigger word.
That's a trigger word for me. And if I was Michelle, I would have been like first of all, I would have been done with the conversation. But, and I will say, Michelle do be apologizing very condescendingly. I'm not going to lie.
Because she's not apologizing because she's probably sorry. She's probably just doing this so they can shut up, which is why most people apologize.
That's true. That's true. And that's why I don't apologize, because I don't care. So Devin starts playing victim, essentially. And he's like, oh,
you
that's
lied
a trigger word
to me.
And you lied and you're a liar. Michelle
was like,
when did I lie?
About?
When did I lie? Quick, when did I lie?
Where are the lies? What are the lies?
When did I lie? When did I lie? And so the girls inside are hearing her, and they're like, ooh, ooh. And there's a few girls outside. And some of the girls that are outside are Nelson. And Nelson and Devin's like, whatever. And Nelson's like, no.
Nah, cite the lies.
What's the lies? I want to know the lies. I literally want to know the lies. And so Devin was
not saying shit for real.
Not really saying anything. And then eventually he's like, well, you lied about what you told Amber. And she was like, no, I didn't. Amber asked me, what deal did we make? And I told her. And then we flashed to the inside. We flashed to Johnny Bananas. And Johnny Bananas is like, he has a diary room, and he's like, Devin is trying to gaslight Michelle right now. He's acting like he's not the bad guy, and he's trying to pin it on someone else, and that is Michelle right now. And this is when he said he reminds him of a little leprechaun
named Wes. And it's like, honestly, I've been saying that since Devin made his debut on the challenge. He reminds me so much of Wes. Like, they're very similar, especially when it comes to like the strategic way they play the game.
Neither of them would ever gag me. Would you be back? Would you ever be back? I just feel like, but it's crazy how so many people get played and gagged by them. They're so see-through, aren't they? I don't know. Maybe I gotta be there. So Jay has a diary room, a dumbass diary. And Jay is like, all these lies are getting spread, and Devin and Michelle's are arguing, and who does it come from? Who's the catalyst?
Amber.
It's like, and I almost dropped my cup. Because
out of all of that, it's crazy. He saw all of that, and his mom was like, Amber's the problem. This is why he didn't win Survivor, babe. That's exactly what he did in Survivor. Michaela's the problem. No.
Michaela, the person voting with you? Amber, the person on your side? Amber, Michelle's best friend? Like, just think a little bit.
Dumb.
Maybe a little bit, a pinch.
And also, why do people act like their partner being friends with someone isn't beneficial? Like, this whole season, they've been like, oh, well, I don't like them, so I don't care if you're cool with them. Like,
what? Anyways, Tori, I will say, if I was there and Nelson was my partner and he's like, well, I'm friends with Johnny and Nani, I'd be like, I don't care, Nelson. I'm putting them in. And if we got to go in because you disagree, then we got to go in because you disagree. I don't care. Period. Don't put me with a vet. they'll be mad at me. They're gonna be mad at me. So after this, Tori has a diary room, and she's like, I'm kind of glad that Devin's doing what he's doing. Mind y'all, Tori has done nothing all season. So Tori's like, I'm kind of glad Devin's doing what he's doing because we can finally have an enemy. And I love having an enemy because I'm a bad player.
She just didn't like Michelle and Jay, so now she can openly dislike them without having to fake a deal.
That's all she wanted to do. Because let me stop. Next morning, we wake up quickly. Amber, Veronica, and Michelle have a little powwow.
Love them, sisters. Really,
and they're basically like, "Girl, Devin fake as fuck." Basically, what they talk.
They all see through it.
Michelle has his arm. She's like, "I won't be playing long term with Devin. We're done." That was all. Next, we go to the zone. So we in the zone now, and this is where TJ has his scene hyping up the 4 people who was put in. These are some competitors. You put in some beasts. These are the elite of the elites. Ooh, you got the girls really shook with this one. And it's like, please, TJ, like
please.
Teams who have
maybe in their heyday. I don't know.
Like,
maybe
you have nobody who won a daily, and you have Johnny old ass. Like, please, god damn. Really gassing them. So Nelson really, really hot on his shit. Puts in the one team that TJ was not talking about. And it's like, you're embarrassing. Like, you're so embarrassing because TJ just hyped you up, mainly kind of talking about Jordan.
Well, Amber has a win.
That's not who he was talking about. It was, but it wasn't. It was, but it wasn't. Like, that's the thing. It's like looking at these 4 teams in TJ's announcement, he of course was speaking on the older people, like older players. Especially, plus Amber does have her win, but it's like you put in the one player who has the least amount of wins.
Well, Nani has 0.
She's tied with Johnny, who has 85. Like, that's the thing. It's like you put in the one team with the least amount of wins, and you thought you ate. It just doesn't make sense. The goal is to win the final. To win the final, you should be in the final with people who you can beat. But his top teams are Horatio and Olivia, who have outperformed him in 4 out of the 7 challenges. Tori and Devin, who have outperformed him in 4 out of the 7 challenges, and Michelle and Jay, who have outperformed him in 4 out of 7 challenges, versus the people who he put in who have not. Weird. Anyways, so just weird and dumb and stupid. I don't know. So Nelson throws in Amber and Chauncey. They're going in. And Jay gags him a little bit in the diary room. And Jay was like, Amber and Chauncey.
Like, all those people there.
You have heavy hitters sitting there. And you put in Amber and Chauncey. It's like, Jay, can you really talk? Because didn't you put in, who did he put in? Girl, nobody. The other 2 rounds. But hey, we moved.
Kim Colleen. Well, no, he didn't throw in Kim Colleen. He threw in
Veronica Darrell.
He threw in Laurel and Jack. But
Kim
Colleen got sent in because they put Kim Colleen in nomination, which caused them to be available to be thrown.
At least they chose Laurel and Jack. That's what he's saying. Put in Amber and Chauncey, but at least choose somebody. But you didn't. It's not like he chose Johnny and Nani. Jay didn't.
This is like them putting in Kim Colleen.
Yeah, it is.
Like if they chose to put in Kim Colleen, like no, you're dumb.
He could at least put in Veronica and Darrell or something. And
then Nelson has this dumbass diary room. He's just like, well, Amber and Chauncey are one of the weakest teams here. Everyone sees that. Chauncey, it's time to earn your stripes. And it's like, nigga, so what's the goal here? Like, what's your goal? Is you going to win the game?
What do you mean, Chauncey, earn your stripes? What are we playing right now? Like, what does that mean for real? Like, what are you saying? What does that mean? That pissed me off. Like, that literally pissed me off. Chauncey, earn your stripes. You could have told Kenny to do that and put in Casey and Kenny. Kenny hasn't earned shit.
Could have told Mariah to do that.
He told Mariah to do that. Mariah hasn't earned shit. I guess his concept, at least Mariah and Fessy won a daily. But Casey and Kenny haven't.
Well.
So put Casey and Kenny in. Tell Kenny to earn his stripes. If that's his goal.
Well, I don't want Casey to have to go against Nani.
She wouldn't have to. Veronica Darrell got put in, remember? Like, I don't know. He just wasn't thinking. So anyways, we get to the safe daggers and shit. And this is how I know this shit rigged. Not only was Nani and Johnny's daily win rigged, this is the second time in a row that these bitches chose first.
Why can't just be lucky?
Because they're just not. Mm-hmm. They're just not. So Nani and Johnny choose the save dagger again, and they save Big Girl and they save I didn't mean that. I'm so sorry. They chose to put in Jordan and Anissa. And they chose to They saved Jordan and Aneesa again. Wait, again? For the first time? Whatever. They saved Jordan and Aneesa. And that means Amber.
They saved Casey and Kennedy. This time they saved Jordan and
Aneesa. And so that means Veronica and Darrell are going to go in, and they're going to have to face off with Amber and Chauncey. So, what's the comp? The comp is you're at the top of this motherfucking tower. You have to climb down the tower and wiggle through some nets. It's like those nets you see at the playground in the playpen or whatever. You have to wiggle through those nets, and at the bottom, there's going to be a bunch of puzzle pieces. You have to bring those puzzle pieces all the way up through the layers of nets, one by one. Your teammate goes first, and you go second. Blah, blah, blah. Once you're done, you have to solve the puzzle.
And Amber says this is really sad for her because she loves Darrell. He was her partner on, what was it, Free Agents, Double Agents, what was the fuck? Whatever. And he kind of basically gave her the fundamentals for this game. And she said she just loves him so much. And she has to go against him. What'd she say?
I'm just thinking about. So Amber and Chauncey quickly start getting their pieces very fast.
Amber was feasting, okay?
Amber specifically was zooming. She said, I'm not going home. I'm just not going home. And she was eating it up, honestly. Chauncey was nervous. He has a diary room. He's like, girl, I'm just trying to pretend I'm not nervous so Amber don't get mad at me. Like, I don't want to be mad. And it's like, that's so cute. That's so adorable.
And then poor Veronica, her thick ass, she can't get all that ass to the goddamn nuts.
All that ass.
Child, that'd be mean.
It is a lot.
That would have been me.
Girl, please. It is a lot of ass back there. That might be me too.
It would have, like, I was stuck.
A little thick. Would have took me some time. I might have lost this one. But
she can't move, TJ.
Veronica was literally trying to get through, and honestly, Veronica was moving. They kind of hyped her up a little bit. They were like, "Oh yes, Veronica Darrell, they're doing really good." Devin has a diary room. He's like, this would be very perfect if Amber and Chauncey went home. Darrell, Veronica stayed.
Think again,
Nelson. We can. So apparently, they end up getting all the puzzle pieces, and at this point, Chauncey and Amber have 8 puzzle pieces. And Veronica and Darrell only have 6. So Chauncey and Amber started building the puzzle first. And then eventually, Veronica and Darrell end up getting their pieces too. So that means everybody has their pieces and they're just solving the puzzle. And we see the sidelines. The girls are like, oof.
Okay.
Been quite a while.
Hours and hours. They was out there for a minute. The puzzle did look pretty hard though. I guess they have to make. It's supposed to be a pattern, and they have to make 4 8s or 8 8s.
Multiple 8s based on the numbers. So you've gotten numbers 1 through 8.
1 through 8, and you have to make all of those into 4 8s.
4 8.
And it's like, ooh, they were out there for a minute.
They were, a long time, and the girls were trying to gag them a little bit, like, ooh, y'all taking a long time.
Olivia diary room with the little mug.
I know, literally. And it's like, I guess. I feel like it would have taken me a long time. I'm not going to lie.
100%. I would have been out there for a minute. Okay.
I would have been confused. But eventually, Amber and Chauncey do win. And Amber gets sad very quickly because her mentor, Darrell, has to go. And it's like, that's so sad. And she's like, it's bittersweet because, I took out my mentor. But, now he has to go. And it's like, oh, that sucks. And he was somebody that I really, really trusted. Clearly, I can't trust Nelson. He wants to follow behind Devin. It's just all weird.
It's okay, Amber, babe. I feel like Amber's about to be the baddest bitch. These next few episodes.
These next episodes, she's going to eat it up. She said she's going to come back in the house and she's going to say some shit.
Because she don't care no more. There's no point to, y'all woke my sister up and now she's here. She has arrived.
Period. Chauncey has a diary room and he says, Nelson and Reese, this is going to be your ass.
And that's on Sonora.
After this, Devin has a diary room to close out the episode. And Devin says, it seems like this episode, Nelson listened to his leader, his master, maybe. He who shall not be named, whose name is Devin. And that's funny because that's all it was me leading the blind to the water.
Oh my God.
And that was all. And it's like, basically Devin just said, Nelson's my little bitch. He did exactly what I wanted. He had the 4 people I wanted to go in. And he took out, a team who I don't give a fuck about. And now I'm still running this shit. And it's like, go Devin.
That's what he said?
Basically.
That's not what he said.
What'd he say?
Amber and Chauncey Stan will come back to bite them.
Oh, that too. He also said that I ran the fuck out of Nelson. And
I didn't hear that part. I heard Amber and Chauncey Stand will come back to bite them. Maybe I was
and he also said that I literally ran the fuck out of Nelson.
Okay.
You're going to have to rewatch that.
I don't.
Oh, no, he literally was like,
okay, let's go.
Yeah, okay. But also that. But he set it up anyway. Like, they're coming back to bite him because
we still going.
Oh, you don't give a fuck? You don't give a fuck.
I don't. Girl, we've been here for an hour 30 minutes, so we can wrap it up.
Y'all, that was it. Bye. No, I'm playing. Check us out next episode where we be covering the rest of the challenge. Check us out for Survivor. Check us out for The Amazing Race. That's it. We're literally out.